Welcome to Deleted Saves. On this episode, Okami on PlayStation 2. Dear listeners, today I bring you good news. I bring you the Gospel of Amaterasu, origin of all that is good and mother to us all. Today we'll be discussing the winsome wolfish art game that was 2006's Okami. But first we need to chat a bit about Clover Studios, the developer of the game. Clover Studios was an internal development house within Capcom, a studio whose games I've talked about before. Clover was designed to be an art house game studio for games who might be new, but might not get the funding or internal green light to go ahead that their larger game series like Mega Man or Resident Evil would get. Clover only completed 3 games before Capcom decided that they were operating at too much of a financial loss, and with the departure of 3 key leads at Clover, who were previously connected with more well-known Capcom games, Capcom shut the studio down, reabsorbing the developers they had dedicated to Clover back into their mass. But for our concerns, one of their successfully completed projects was Okami. Okami can mean both wolf and great deity in Japanese, and is used here as a pun revolving around an honorific title often given to the supreme Shinto goddess Amaterasu, a sun goddess. And thus we are introduced to our main character for the game, a white wolf housing the spirit of a goddess of the sun. An unusual choice, to be sure, but Okami has a lot of unusual design choices. The story can be summed up as such. Long ago in Japan, there was a legend about a white wolf. The white wolf was brave and mighty, and tangled with an evil spirit in the form of an 8-headed dragon. The wolf was not alone, as a noble swordsman fought alongside the wolf until the evil dragon was defeated. The wolf died of its injuries, and the swordsman limped away after sealing the evil spirit within a temple. The swordsman dedicated his bloodline to guarding where the evil spirit was trapped, and dedicated a statue to the bravery of the white wolf. 100 years to the day of the battle, the evil spirit stirs, and the sun goddess Amaterasu descends to earth and inhabits the statue with the intent to destroy this evil before it darkens Japan forever. It does not go as planned. This incarnation of Amaterasu has decided to embody the wisdom and ability of all creatures of the animal kingdom, as she does not speak at all throughout the adventure. Her magnificent presence speaks for her. However, we, the players, are graced with a tag-along chatterbox character named Usun, a wandering samurai bug claiming to be an artist, who just decides to insert himself into Amaterasu's quest, much to her constant irritation. Isun's main personality trait could best be described as horny, as he spends the entirety of the game, when not boasting, or being a general dumbass, dreamily ogling and rudely commenting on the cleavage of every major female character they meet in the game. Oh, those wacky Joe characters. But Isun is not our only goofy asshole populating the Japanese countryside. The game is loaded with them. Not long after we meet the descendant of the noble samurai who fought along with the white wolf a century before, who turns out to be a lazy drunken oaf, coasting on his ancestors' reputation, and must learn to get past his own cowardice just to get out of his own bumbling way, let alone help defeat the demon dragon Orochi. From there it gets wilder. Cartoonish locals, mobster sparrows, a crazy old sensei to learn from, merfolk under the sea, divine animals including tigers, monkeys, and a grab bag of Japanese mythological creatures, bouncing-breasted priestesses, a space alien princess, and more, even the Empress of Japan herself, all who need the help of this singular white wolf, who herself is armed with an array of prayer beads, glowing death discs, and great swords, and literally nobody ever questions this is weird. Man, video games are awesome, right, kids? Well, yes, they are. And that's in part the point of Okami. The game is a loving send-up of the myth of the sun goddess Amaterasu herself, in a uniquely Japanese style of puns and joke characters, and her overcoming the various evil beasts that exist in all mythologies worldwide. It is a wonderful art game, and not just in the story it tells. The designers use a cel-shaded art style and color palette intended to mimic the ink-wash style of art so popular a century previously in Japan, and the type of art brought back to Europe and the US when both regions began regular trade with Japan in the 19th century. The ink-wash design also extends to the gameplay of the main character, Amaterasu depends on having a reserve of ink with which to use her celestial brush, an instrument the player needs to wield throughout the game to solve environmental puzzles and defeat enemies in combat when combat occurs, which is always taking place within an arena outside of time and space. The player will be required to draw suns, encircle plants to make them bloom, and scrub away the effects of the evil spirits haunting the Japanese countryside. Don't worry if you're not an artist yourself. The game is extremely forgiving and can generally get what you are trying to draw. While Okami garnered heaps of critical praise, the game sales themselves tanked, and any talk of a sequel was quickly ended. So this single, quirky drawing and combat hybrid game about Japanese myth is all we are getting. But happily, the legacy of Okami lives on in a cult classic status, and other developers cited the game as an inspiration for their own work. And our wolfish Amaterasu has remained a staple of popularity within Capcom's games, appearing in some form or another across diverse games ranging from Marvel vs. Capcom to Monster Hunter. The game has been re-released across several platforms, so newer generations of gamers can take a pop culture impressionist tour of a pastel Japan that never was. I cannot recommend Okami highly enough to at least try out. Even if it is not your thing, it deserves to be regarded as a successful work of digital art. Something truly unique and a rare sort of game that just does its own thing and has fun with its premise no matter what is going on around it in the game sphere. Okami is a howlin' good time. Man, that pun was artful. Woof. Thank you for listening.